Write 89,786 correct, and there's 1,000. 1,000 is here, so I look at 7, which pushes it up, so it's going to be 90,000. 1, 2, 3. So second question. Ben buys 3 tickets to a music concert. Each ticket costs £55 each. Ben also has to pay a booking fee. The booking fee is £2.25 per ticket. Ben's got £180 to spend. Work out Ben's got enough money to buy all 3 things and pay for the booking fee. Right, so we need 3 tickets, yeah, at £55 each. Okay, and then we're going to have to add a booking fee, which is £2.25 per ticket. Okay, I'm going to get my calculator and do it all on the calculator. So that was 3 times 55 plus 2.5. 3 times 55 plus. Okay, that's 167.5. He's got £180 to spend. So the answer is yes, he has got enough to pay. Remember to put yes, he's got enough to pay. Here's a map of Great Britain. The map shows temperatures at cities at midnight. Which city had the lowest temperature at midnight? That's going to be Edinburgh. No, it's going to be Newcastle. That's -6. On Brighton, the temperature rose by 5 degrees between midnight and 20th and midday on the 21st. What was the temperature at Brighton on midday on the 21st? So Brighton is -2. It rose by 5, so it's -2 plus 5. I'm going to use my calculator to do that. Plus 5 equals 3. At midnight on the 20th of January, the temperature in Nottingham was halfway between the temperature in Truro and the temperature in Edinburgh. What is the temperature in Nottingham? Right, Truro is 3 degrees, and the other town was Edinburgh, which is -5 degrees. So halfway between. Now to do halfway, I'm going to add them together. 3 plus -5, and I'm going to divide it by 2, which is -1. The other way you can think about it, if you think about it on a number line, so let's just count between it, or 2, and then this one here is going to be -4, and I've got 1, and it's going to be -3, and I've got 0, and I've got -2, and my middle point is 1. Write down the coordinates of point C, along the corridor up the stairs, so it's going to be 5 across, 3 up, put in brackets. Write down the coordinates of midpoint AB. Now the midpoint is the middle point. If I draw a line, the middle point is here, okay, which is 2, 4. The other way you can think about this is that A is 1, 3, B is 3, 5. Now if you wanted to do 1 plus 3 divided by 2, you get 4 divided by 2, which is 2. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's where you get 2, 4 from. On the grid, mark with across the point D, so that A, B, C, D is a square. So let's just join these up. This is obviously going to be a right angle. Now if you think of a square, these two are going to be parallel because that's the property of a square. And this is also going to be parallel. Let's double check, all 4 sides are the same length. This is right angle, that's right angle, that's right angle. So all of these, let's label this D. And let's actually even put a cross on it to make sure. Oh, it says a cross. Let's make sure it's a cross. Diagram shows the shape of one line of symmetry, which goes straight down the middle. Work out the area of the shape. Now, it might be tempting to think that this line is the same length as that line. That's not the case. So it's not really like we're dealing with like 2 rhombus split together. Let's add some measurements. It'll be helpful if I knew the entire measurement here, and that's going to be 15 plus your 10, which is your 25 centimeters. Okay, and now we've got something we can sort of work with. So I'm going to actually split up here. Now you may think that this one here is going to be a parallelogram. It's not, it's a trapezium. Okay. And that's the easiest way to break these up. You can break them up into like a triangle, then another triangle, then add them all together, or make them up into a big square, but I think 2 trapeziums is definitely going to be the easiest. Right, so this length here, if all of it's 25 and this is 4, that means this little bit here is going to be 25 minus 4, which is 19 centimeters. Now your trapezium is your top plus your bottom times your height divided by 2. Now because it tells us this is a one line of symmetry, we do know that the height is going to be 6. If it didn't say one line of symmetry, we would not know that, and it's not good to guess. So the top is 19 plus 25 plus your bottom times your height divided by 2. So let's do that. 19 plus 25 equals times 6 divided by 2. So I know one of them equals 132. So I've worked out one of these, so like all this red stuff. Two of them, and they're both the same, so I'm going to have to double it, which is 264. Let's just do the units, because that's in centimetres, it's going to be centimetres squared. 240 counters in a bag. Counters are green, yellow or blue. 3/5 are green, 1/4 are yellow. Work out number of blue counters in the bag. Now, we could add these together, take them away from one to find out what fraction it is, but I'm going to work out the numbers of each. So if we think 3/5 is 240, we can work out how many of the greens, so 3/5 times 240. I'm just going to type that into my calculator. 3/5 times 240, which means there's 140 of 4 of those. That's going to be 1/4 of 240. And I'm not going to leave anything to chance, I'm just going to put 1/4 of 240 equals 60. And I'm going to add them together and then find the difference of 240. So plus 144. Add them together, I get 204. Okay, but 240 is the total, so I'm going to subtract 204. I can do it in my head, but I'm not going to use a calculator because it's calculator paper. That's alright. 240 minus 204. Okay, and the answer is 36 counters. Stan's driving school. First 2 lessons are £12.75. All other lessons are £20. He has 5 lessons. So let's work it out. First lesson is 12.75. Second lesson is 12.75. And all the rest of them are going to be £20. 20, 20, 20. I'm not going to take any chances, I'm just using my calculator to add these up. 12.75 plus 12.75 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. S to D. So the answer is going to be 85.5. But bear in mind we're dealing with money, so it's got to be £85.50, because you'll never say to your friend, oh, you owe me £85.5. You'd say £85.50. Okay. Leah has some lessons with Stan's driving schools. The total cost is £305.50. Work out how much lessons Leah has. Well, we know that Leah must have had the first 2 lessons, so I'm going to do 305.50. Take away 12.75, which would be the first lesson, and then take away 12.75 again. Okay, and then all I'm going to be left with is the ones that cost £20 each. So we'll do 305.5, take away 12.75. I'm going to push equals between these, just because I'm subtracting, which means this is 280. So all I'm left with is the lessons that cost £20. So I'm going to have to do 280 divided by 20. I want to use my calculator for that. It equals 14 lessons, so it's going to be 14 lessons. Rohan plays for the village cricket team. Here are a number of runs he scored in the 6 games. Find the range. Right, the range is highest take away lowest, so the highest is 67. Lowest is 4. Again, the calculator paper, just trust your calculator more than your actual brain. So the answer is, my range is 63. Find the mean of the scores. So means you add them all up and divide by the amount of scores. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be total divided by 6. Let's add them up. 12 plus 4 plus 5 plus 67 plus 32 plus 54. I'm actually going to write it here, just so I can get some method marks if for some reason I get this wrong. Equals, so it's 204 over 6, which is 34. Sometimes if you mean you can get decimal, even though this is a whole number, it's good, but if you've got decimal. All I've done here is just write numbers out again, so it does actually fit on the page. One of the 6 numbers is picked at random. Find the probability a row hand scored more than 50 runs in a game. So the ones he scored more than 50 is this one and that one. So it's going to be 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 out of 6. It doesn't say put in the simplest form, so that's fine. But if you want to, it is a third. But 2 out of 6 is an acceptable answer. Here's part of Danny's electricity bill. Work how much Danny has to pay for the units of electricity she's used. So first of all, we need to work out how much, and how much is the difference. So I'm going to put 2968, take away 2675. I'm going to use a calculator because I just don't trust my math skills. 2968 minus 2675 equals 293. So he's used 293 units. There are 18p each, so 293 times, now 18 pence. I always like to change this to a decimal, so it's 0.18. But 18, you could times it by 18 and give me your answer in pence, but obviously I'm doing mine in pounds. So 293 times 0.18 ST. So now it's £52.74p. Pounds. Okay. Now I just want to be clear on this. If I wrote that, my answer is now incorrect. It's just a nonsensical answer. So I would put £52.74p or 5274 pence. Okay, either answer is acceptable. The factory makes 1,500 cans per minute. The factory makes cans for 8 hours a day. Each can is filled with 330 millilitres of cola. How much cola is needed to fill all the cans that are made each day? Give your answers in litres. Okay, so this is in millilitres. So let's just do it. So 1,500 cans per minute. So a minute equals 1500. To make it into an hour, okay, we're going to have to times it by 60. And it's 8 hours a day, so I'm going to have to times that answer by 8. So let's just get this bit out of the way. 150 times 60 to 60 minutes an hour, which is 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. Times it by 8. Okay, 7, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's how many cans are made in an 8 hour day. Each can is filled up with 330. So I'm going to have to times this by 330 millilitres. Okay, 2, 3, 7, 6, 2, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this answer is in millilitres. And that's how much cola is needed to fill the cans that are made up each day. But it's not in litres, so you need to think of how many millilitres are in a litre. Now the conversions are actually the same as when you use centimetres to metre. So milli, so I'm actually going to do it a bit of a weird way. I'm going to actually change it into centilitres. Okay, because people tend to know that there's 10 millilitres in a centilitre. Okay, which is 2, 3, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just 10 less. People tend to know that there's 100 centimetres in a metre. So I'm just going to cross off 100. So 2, 3, 7, 6, 0, 0. And that's how many litres. Thank you. Joe changes £200 into round. How much does she get? So rounded there, pounds is there, so she changes £200 into round. So I'll get a ruler. Up to here. Okay, and I'll go across. So this one here, 2,600 rounds. Second part. Okay, Simon has £100 and 370 rand. He goes to a shop where you can spend both pounds and rand. He wants to buy a computer, or a watch, or a camera. Which of these items can Simon afford to buy? You must clearly show your answer. So now we want to work out how much money he totally has. He's got £100, but then we have to work out what 3,700 rand is. Now we might do this in two separate ways. This doesn't actually go up to 3,700. So I'm first going to convert 3,000 up by starting here, going along, and then going down. Okay. And I've got this number here. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know here to here is 5. Okay, and that makes 20. 20 divided by 5 is going to tell me exactly how much each space is going to be. So each space is actually going to be 4. So it's two. So this is 228. Okay, I'm gonna write it down. So it's £228. But that was just 3,000. I need to also add on the 700. 700 between 6 and 8, so it's there. Go to the line. Go back down. Okay, so 4, 1. So it's 40, and I've got 3 spaces. So it's 40, and we know each one of these is actually going to be 4. So it's 44, 48, 52. Let's go back to that one. Okay, plus 52. Let's add all these up. Calculate for that. 100 plus 228 plus 52 equals £380. So I know he's got £380 in total. He can't afford a camera. You can't afford a computer. Oh, sorry, you can afford a camera. You can afford a computer. You can't afford a watch. So I'm going to say he can afford a computer. I'm going to say with just with £20 change, just so they know what I'm talking about, or a camera with £5 change. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 2x minus 3 from the values of minus 2 to 3. Now let's do the graph table of values, x, y. Sometimes you're given this, but at this moment not. Minus 2 to 3 means you've got to start minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Because we know it's a straight line graph, you don't actually have to do every value. This is going to be a straight line, but I'm going to do it anyway just because it's good practice. So I'm doing 2 times the value of x, which I'm going to put in brackets, minus 3. I've put it in brackets because sometimes your calculator will do BIDMAS, and that's not really what you wanted to do, but if you put it in brackets, it'll always do it the correct way. I'm going to use the back button on this calculator, change that to 1, just minus 5, use back, change that to 0, just minus 3, so that should be minus 5. I was on my calculator for that. 1, minus 1. And you should notice by now that these have actually got a pattern going to these. So these always go up in 2s. And we would have known that they've gone up in 2s because there's 2x there, and 2x is a gradient. Minus 3 and 7 means I have to make sure there's a space of 10. Let's see if there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I'm just going to just put it straight on. I'm just going to put, sorry, 3 to go up the top. 3, 2, 1, 0. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7. We'll draw my axes in. Just going to rub this one out. That as well. My axis going across as well. So it's minus 2 to 3, so a 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2. I don't know why people still having a problem around here for getting this right, but just make sure it all goes up nice and linear. Yeah. Also, if this is not a straight line, I know I've done something wrong. So minus 2, minus 7, minus 2, minus 7 is there. Minus 1, minus 5 is here. 0, minus 3 is there. 1, minus 1 is here. 2, minus 1, and 3, 3. Let's just join up all the dots because it is a straight line. Yeah, that's my answer. Now, there is another way I can get my table of values. If I've got a decent calculator like this, turn it on. If I do shift and mode, I've got one of these, so if I do setup, I've got one of these that says table, which is 3. F of x, don't get confused by that, that's just your graph. So 2x, and I've got an x here, if I press alpha and x, minus 3. Start, well I'm starting at negative 2. I'm ending at 3. I'm going up in ones. And that's my table of values there. So minus 7, 5, 3. If I scroll down, minus 1, 1, 3. To get back, it's just mode and 1. Back to my normal thing. The other thing we can think of this is if we do y equals 2x minus 3. Minus 3 is my y-intercept, which is this value here. And my 2x means for every 1 I go across, I'm going up 2. Go across 1 up 2, I'm here. Go across 1 up 2, I'm here. Go across 1 up 2, I'm here. That's the other way you can answer that. Here are 2 fractions. Which of these fractions has a value closer to 3/4? You must clearly show your answer. Okay. Now, there's two ways we could do this. We can make them all have the same denominator and then compare, or we can change them into fractions. Now, first of all, I'm going to change them into fractions, and I'm going to do them to the same denominator. Now, my calculator will change it to a fraction for me. I won't have to do anything. If I turn it on, and I do 2/3. Okay, press S to D. 0.6 recurring. That's 0.6 recurring. The other way you could do it is I could just do top divided by bottom, and then S to D. Come on, 0.875. Now 3/4 is 0.75. Okay, so I'm just going to write this out. 2/3 equals 0.6 recurring. 7/8 equals 0.875, and 3/4 equals 0.75. Now, if we work out the differences between them, difference between that one and that one, 0.75 minus 0.6. I'll just put loads of sixes in. Get 6 recurring. So this is 0.083 recurring. And the difference between these two, I want to put 0.875 minus 0.75. 1/8. So it's 0.125. Now, which one of these two numbers is closer? It's going to be the axis of 0. So I'm going to say that 2/3 is closer to 3/4. Now, the other way we can do this, if you wanted to make them have the same denominators, so it's 2/3, 7/8 is closer to 3/4. We need to find the lowest common multiple of 3, 8 and 4. Of 8 and 4, it's going to be 8. So the lowest common multiple of 3 and 8. It's going to be 3 times 8, which is 24. So I need to write all of these fractions over the denominator 24. 8 times 3 is 24, so I'll do 7 times 3. It's 21. 3 times 8 is 24, so I'll do 2 times 8, which is 16. 4 to 24 is, I might forget, so I have to do 24 divided by 4, which is 6. So I'll do 3 times 6, which is 18. Now, if we think this one here is 2 24ths difference, and that one there is, so 18, 19, 20, 21, is 3 24ths difference. So again, 2/3 is closer by 2 over 24th, opposed to 3 over 24. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 5, or I don't know if I'm on a calculator, so I'm going to trust my calculator. It's calculator paper. 35. 3y times 4y, or 3 times 4 is 12. Y times y is y squared. 3 times 3 is 9, so it's minus 9y. Okay, expand and simplify. T times t is t squared. T times 4 is 4t. 2 times t is 2t. 2 times 4 is 8. Let's just double check. Good. I can always put my two middle terms together. So I've got t squared plus 6t plus 8. Right, so she's driving home from a friend's house. Okay, she drives 10 miles from her friend's house to the motorway. 240 miles on the motorway. 5 miles from the motorway. She takes 20 minutes to drive from her friend's to the motorway. Drives at average speed of 60 miles per hour on the motorway. Takes 25 minutes to drive from the motorway to her house. And she stops for 30 minutes as well. She leaves her friend's house at 9 AM. What time does she get home? Right, so there's a lot of words here, but it's just asking about the time. So we know she starts at 9 o'clock. Okay, so she goes from a friend's house to the motorway, which is 20 minutes, which is nice. So I know I have to add 20 minutes onto that. So now she's on the motorway. Okay, now the motorway doesn't give us the time, but it has got a speed and it gives us a distance. So I need to do the speed equals distance over time. Okay, some of you might use it as a triangle speed time. Just remember you've got distance on the top. I'm working out the time, so I'm going to do this algebraically, times by times by time. Speed time equals distance, divided by speed divided by speed. Time equals distance over speed. Okay, my distance is going to be 240 miles. My speed is 60 miles per hour. I just want to check those miles and those are miles because sometimes it's giving you different units. Use my calculator to do this. 40 divided by 16 equals 4. So this 4 is, well, think about what unit it's in. So let's just check my unit here with 60 miles per hour, so that's in hours. So it's actually going to be hours. So I'm going to have to add 4 hours. 9 plus 4 equals 9 plus 4 equals 13. So it's 13:20. Okay. So now she's left the motorway. She takes 25 minutes. So I've got to add another 25 minutes to make her home, which makes that 13:45. She's home. However, there is a 30-minute break here. Okay, we don't know when that is, but I'm just going to add it on to the end. So I'm going to add 30 minutes for the break. That's where it can get a bit confusing, because if I do 30 to 45, I get, well, let's do it, 30 plus 45 equals 75. So 13:75 is not a time in the real world, because this only goes up to 60. So if I do that 60, I'll make that 14, 15. Okay, so that's the time she's going to go on. Make sure it doesn't say PM or AM. So the answer is 14:25 or 2:15 PM. Now, again, your calculator can help you out. You have got a button here. It's used for degrees, but you can use it to add time. So I'm actually going to focus on this bit here. Okay. So let's say I do 13, 45, 00, because I have to add the seconds. That's right then. 13, 45, 00, put in. Okay. And then I need to add 30 seconds, so 00, 30, 00. It'll work out to 4:15 for you. So just remember this button here is good for calculating the time. ABCD is a trapezium. AB is 25, BC is 24, CD is 10. Angle ABC is 90 degrees. Calculate the size of CDA. So CDA is this one here. Now, I'll give you answers to 3 significant figures. You may think of this, maybe it's trapezium. You might think, oh well, it's top plus bottom times height divided by 2, it's top is bottom. But it's nothing to do with areas, it's to do with angles. Now normally if something to do with angles and you haven't got much given, it's going to either be trigonometry or it's going to be Pythagoras. Now I want to split this up to make triangles. If I put a line here, I have a nice right angle triangle. And I know this is 24 centimetres. But don't think this side here is 25, because 25 is all of it. So this 25 is a whole length. So if I actually want this side of the triangle, okay, I have to do 25 minus 10, which will actually make it 15 centimetres. And I know this is going to be a right angle, because I made this a rectangle. So it's this one here I really want to look at. So let's label it up. This side's my opposite, this side's my hypotenuse, this side's my adjacent. Okay. I like to write down all my trig formulas. I don't know how you remember it, but I always remember it as some old hag cracked all her teeth on apples. We want one that's got the opposite and the adjacent, which means to be tan. So it's tan of your angle equals your opposite over the adjacent. My opposite is 15 over 24. Okay. But because I need to find the angle, I need to do the tan minus 1 of 15 over 24. So shift tan. I'm just going to write 15 over 24. If you wanted to, you can put that in brackets and find the actual decimal equivalent. Okay, so 32.0053. I've written too many digits here, which is this one here. I have to add my 90 as well, because it's actually asking for the whole thing. So I'm going to add 90 degrees to that. Okay, which is 112.005. Now it says to 3 significant figure. This is my first significant figure, that's my second, that's my third. This round down, so my answer is 112 degrees. In the 2012 Paralympics, the total number of gold and silver medals won by Brazil was 25. The ratio of number of gold medals that Brazil won to the number of silver medals is 3 to 2. How many silver medals? This is just ratio of amount. So 3 to 2 is 5. Let's make sure I've got it right around. Gold to silver. Okay. We know it's 35, so you've got to think 5 times what is 35. I'm going to do the opposite way, so I'm going to do 35 divided by 5, 7, so I've got to times this by 7. So I've got to times both of them by 7. 2 times 7 is 14. 3 times 7 is 21. How many silver medals is this one here? So the answer is 14. Janet lives in England. He does a search on the internet and sees the type of camera sale in France and America. In France it costs €126, in America it costs $165. Janet finds out the exchange rate. How much cheaper is the American than in France? Camera in America than in France. Give your answer in pounds. Okay, so I need to convert everything in pounds. So I'll say in France, it's €126. €1 is 0.89. So to get this to pounds, we have to times this by 0.89. 126 times 0.89. 112.14 pounds. Now, if we do it in America, it's 165.24. Now, it's given us the other way around. If we're doing pounds to dollars, we would times it by 1.62, but we're not, we're doing dollars to pounds, so we need to divide that by 1.62. So we've got 165.24 divided by 1.62, so equals 102. Now it says how much cheaper, so we need to subtract it. I've got a negative number because I typed in my calculator the wrong way, but the answer is £10.14. Group of 200 adults were asked which type of magazines they read. Their replies are 82 Red Sports, 80 Red Garden, 84 Red Fashion, 36 Red Sports magazines and Red Garden, 61 Red Sports magazines and Red Fashion, 25 Red Garden magazines and Red Fashion, 14 Red Sports magazines and Red Garden magazines and Red Fashion magazines. Complete the Venn diagram to show this information. Alright, it's not when it says 82 Red Sports magazines, you've got to think 82 is that entire circle. So that includes Sports and Garden, includes all of them, and includes Sports and Fashion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work backwards. One it says 14 Red Sports magazines and Red Garden magazines and Fashion. That's going to go here. So when it says 25 Red Garden and Red Fashion, this 25 includes this 14. So that's really 25 minus 14. I'm doing my calculator for this. 25 minus 14. So that means 11 goes here. Okay, so that's done, that's done. 31 Red Sports magazines and Fashion. So it's this one here. So that's 31. So it's 31 minus 14, which is 17. Cross that off because I've done it. 36 Red Sports and Red Gardens, which is this. So it's 36 minus 14, which is 22. Now, 84 Red Fashion magazines. So it's 84. That's not what I put there, I want to put it there because that'd be incorrect. 84 includes all these three. So I'm going to do 84 minus 11 minus 14 minus 17. Which means this is 42. 80 Red Garden. So it's 80 includes all of them. So it's 18 minus 22 minus 14 minus 11. Which means it's 33. And cross it off. 82 Red Sports magazines. So it's 82. And I've got minus these three again. 22 minus 14 minus 17. Which means this is 29. Okay. Now you might think that all of this is completed. But if you notice, I crossed this bit out because this is incorrect. We have to fill out the back bit. Because this is built with somebody who reads none of these magazines. Now we know it's out of 200. So we'll do 200 minus every single one of these numbers. Okay. So it's going to be 200 minus 33 minus 22 minus 29 minus 17 minus 14 minus 11 minus 42. And the outside should be 32. Okay. It's quite simple to forget this, so please remember to put the last one in. The next question. One of the adults is asked to be chosen at random. Find the probability this adult reads none of these magazine types. Well, because there's 200, we know it's going to be out of 200. None of these is 32, so it's going to be 32 out of 100. Now it doesn't say put it in the simplest form, it doesn't say give it as a decimal, so we can leave it as that. But I'm going to use my calculator just to cancel it down, just to be posh. does it 4 over 25. It's not asking you to do this, but just do it anyway. If you want it as a decimal, 0.16 or 16%. Any one of these answers is correct. It's not that you have to put them all down, just any one will find. So work out the probability that he reads exactly 2 types of magazine. So if you think of people who read exactly 2 types, it's this one, and that one. Now you might think about the one in the middle. That's not exactly 2 types. Yeah, that'd be 3 types. If it said 2 types or more, we'd include it, but it doesn't, so we don't. So it's going to be 17 plus 11 plus 22. Okay, and it's 50. Again, it's 50 out of 200. Same rules apply. I don't need to cancel it down because the question doesn't ask me to, but if you want it to be pushed, you can. 50 out of 200, which is a quarter. Press S to D, and it tells me 0.25 or 25%. Again, any one of these answers is acceptable. Question 18. F of x is 2x squared plus 1. G of x is 2x over x minus 1. We have to do gf of x. Now, you got to think this is like g, but every time there's an x, we need to put the f of x. So it's going to be g, so I'm going to put 2. There's an x, so I'm going to have to put the f of x over, oh, there's another x there, so I'm going to have to put the f of x again. Minus 1. Okay, gf of x. So now all we got to do is just simplify this, make it, see what cancels down, see if anything cancels down. Okay. Now you might think that's 2x squared plus 1 and this is 2x squared plus 1, that we can cancel them out straight away. We can't because this minus 1 sort of messes itself up a little bit. So let's expand all the brackets. 4x squared plus 2 all over, and this is 2x squared plus 1 minus 1, which is actually just 2x squared. Now think about, can we factorise anything else? Can we cancel down? I've got 2 at the bottom and a 2 at the top, 2 at the top. So I can get 2 out to make it 2x squared plus 1 over x squared. If you want to think of it another way, if I get back to that one, there's 2 brackets, 2x squared plus 1 over 2x squared. I've just cancelled out my 2, cancelled out my 2 to get to this stage. I can't cancel those 2x down. I can't do anything else with that at all. The only thing I could do, I could split up those 2x squared over x squared plus 1 over x squared. Now you don't have to do this because it's an acceptable answer. And then my 2x squareds actually cancel out here. So I'm left with 2 plus 1 over x squared. But either answer should be fine. Okay, now there is a second part to this question. G of x again, 2x over x minus 1. We need to find the g of minus 1. So it's the opposite way around. So what I like to think about it is if I do y equals 2x over x minus 1, just written normal form. Now you've got to swap your x's and your y's around. So x equals 2y over y minus 1. And now I need to make y the subject of this formula. So I hate fractions, so let's get rid of them. So I've got y minus 1, x equals 2y. Okay, let's expand the bracket. So let's see what happens. Yx minus x equals 2y. Let's get my y's on one side, so minus yx, which leaves me with minus x equals 2y minus yx. I can factorise my right hand side. I can actually take y out. Y brackets 2 minus x. Okay. Now I can divide by 2 minus x. I can divide by 2 minus x. Okay. These cancel out. So I'm left with minus x over 2 minus x equals y. So this is my inverse function of g. This is a fine answer, but it might be worth noting that I can actually times the top and the bottom by minus 1, which will give me x over minus 2 plus x equals y, or x over x minus 2. Both answers are acceptable, it's just generally we like to have a positive x on top. Okay, part A, on the grid above, draw a line x equals 2. There is part B, which says on the grid, draw a line y equals minus x, but I'm going to put both on here just because it's easier to do. X equals minus 2. Essentially what this means is that, let's say I've got a table of values, x, y. All my x values are going to be 2, no matter what my y values are. Okay, so we can just plot that, which is 2 across 1. It's just going to be straight line going up here. So x equals 2. Right, part B, I'm doing the same grid. y equals minus x. Now let's do my table of values, xy. What that means is for every x value, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're just going to times it by minus 1, or we're just going to put a minus in front of it to give it y. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So 1 minus 1 is there, 2 minus 2 is there, 3 minus 3, 4. So I get this diagonal going. I'm just going to label it, what is it? It's y equals minus x. Okay, second part of the question. Find the gradient of a straight line drawn on a grid. Now, what we do with gradient of a straight line is that we draw a triangle. It doesn't matter where you draw it, doesn't matter how big it is, as long as it goes from point to point. So there's a point here, and there's a point there. Okay. Now, people call it run softs, but I just think of it as a height divided by base. I always write it in between. So you've got 3 over 2, so my gradient is 3 halves. Fred has a recipe for 30 biscuits. Here's a list of ingredients for 30 biscuits. Blah, blah, blah. He wants to make 45. Complete the list for 45 biscuits. Now, this is also in a higher paper on the foundation. Now, if we get, it's easy to get what one biscuit is, and we do that by dividing it by 30. When we get one biscuit, we now have to do 45 by timesing it by 45. Okay, that's the easiest way to do that. We can halve it to make 15, and then add the 15 onto the 30 to make 45. Either way is fine, but I'm just going to divide by 30 times by 45. So 230 divided by 30 times by 45. 345. Let's put a unit in, which was grams. Next one for butter, 150 divided by 30 times by 45 equals 225 grams. Caster sugar is 100 divided by 30 times by 45, which is 150 grams again. Eggs, 2 divided by 30 times 45 equals 3. And I'm just not putting no units for eggs. Right, bottom bit. Jill only has 1 kilogram of self-raising flour, and there's plenty of other ingredients. Work out the maximum number of biscuits Jill can make. So 1 kilogram of self-raising flour. Okay. So from the question above, okay, 230 grams equals 30. Now, let's make that into 1, because it's always easy to do when you've got 1. 1 works for everything. So 230 divided by 30 equals 7.6 recurring grams. Right, so she's got a kilogram. Now we need to put these kilograms into grams. Okay. Now the conversion between kilograms and grams is the same conversion between kilometers and meters. So it's 1,000. So she actually has 1,000 grams of self-raising flour. So what we have to do is we have to do 1,000 grams divided by the amount of 1, which was 7.6 recurring. I'm just putting loads of 6s, just because it's a way to do 6 recurring, which is 130.434 biscuits. Yeah, but obviously you can't make 0.434 biscuits, so the answer is going to be 130. The diagram shows a circle with a centre O and a radius of 2.5. TA is a tangent to the circle of a length of 6 centimetres. The line A to the centre of the circle cuts the circumference of B. Calculate the length of AB. Now this is just a trick question, but it just looks a bit complicated. So the radius is 2.5. So OT is 2.5. But just remember OB is 2.5 as well. And we're going to use that a little bit later. TA is a tangent, which means this is a right angle, but it's already drawn a right angle for you, which is nice, which is 6 centimetres. So we need to work that length. So I did say it was trig, I meant to say Pythagoras. So Pythagoras is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A could be 2.5 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. So I'm just going to do some my calculator. 2.5 squared plus 6 squared equals 42.25. Just remember, all of this is 42.25. It's not asking me for all of this, it's just asking me for the length of AB. So what we have to do is have to take away this 2.5. And that's where people, I reckon, will probably miss out, that they will get that 0 point B is a radius and must be the same length as 0.2. Sorry, 0T. So my 42.25, I've just got minus 2.5, which gives me 39.7 0.75 centimetres. Let me see if there's any, no, it just says length, so that's fine.